Today, let's talk about how to save money when buying into the Apple ecosystem by buying refurbished. Buying into any sort of tech ecosystem can be very expensive, especially if you were trying to do it all at once, and Apple is no exception. However, Apple has a leg up against the competition in that they have a full refurbished store that carries a ton of their latest and greatest products for less money, but they still treat them like brand new with both warranties and return policies. It's like literal magic. So what is the best refurbished Apple ecosystem? Let's find out. What's up, everyone? I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Okay, when we're making a video like this, I feel like we need to set some ground rules in the beginning. So everything we list today has to be able to be found refurbished, or, in maybe a shocking turn of events, I'll also allow Amazon Renewed products to enter the picture. Both Apple Refurbished and Amazon Renewed have certification processes for their items to be listed in those respective categories, and both platforms essentially treat them like brand new from both vendors. On the Apple website, if you buy refurbished, you can also purchase Apple Care, and you get the same return policy as if you had purchased something brand new from them. The only difference you'll see between a brand new MacBook and a refurbished MacBook is the refurbished one will have a teeny tiny little refurbished label on the box. That's absolutely it. On Amazon Renewed, sometimes you aren't buying from Amazon directly, but like I said a few moments ago, there is a process that vendors need to go through before they can sell Amazon Renewed products. With as large as a marketplace as Amazon is, I am absolutely sure there are some bad apples out there. But thankfully, the Renewed program has a very robust return policy backed by Amazon, so I would say it's a very low risk, which that's why we're going to allow them today. So we've laid out where we can get these items, but what are the best value items we can find? We're going to get an entire ecosystem, and I do mean 5-piece entire. We're going to get that for less than the cost of a single M1 MacBook Pro 16 base model. Team, that's the power of looking for refurbished stuff. It's wild. Off script, we're going to go off script for a second. When I started planning for this video, I didn't think that the whole system would cost less than a single MacBook. I love buying stuff refurbished. First off, let's get to the brain, or the centerpiece of this system, and it should come as no surprise, but I'm putting the M1 MacBook Air front and center here. You can get the base model 8-core M1 processor, 7-core GPU, 256 gigabytes of storage, and 8 gigabytes of unified memory version on the Apple Refurbished website for $849. That's literally, and I mean this with all deadpan sincerity, this is not YouTube or hyperbole, this is the best value laptop that you can buy, period. Nothing else even comes close. You'll get single core power that rivals the latest M1 Max processors, multi-core power that is better than anything the Intel-based MacBooks were able to achieve. You'll get battery life that's measured in days, not hours, Thunderbolt 3 ports, and a beautiful Retina panel. This is one of my favorite computers ever made. Now, I'm not going to go too far in depth about everything you can get in this computer because I've made like 20 videos on this specific laptop alone. It's really that good. Even if we were to buy this brand new, I think it's hard to compare anything else to this bad boy. It's the single best value computer that you can buy. It works exceedingly well as a travel laptop because it weighs almost nothing, makes absolutely no noise, and almost never runs out of battery life. But it also works really well as a home desktop computer because the Thunderbolt port will allow for a 6K image to be sent out to a single display. All you have to do is plug it in with a cable and you're good to go. If you aren't somebody that's really into power processes and you just need a regular computer to do regular computer type stuff, what else do you need? I would say that even if you are a video creator, this still works. Okay, if you are somebody that uses lots of VFX or you need some of those huge audio processing plugins, maybe this isn't the ultimate computer for you, but for everybody else, refurbished, this is where we're going to go. Even though we're coming in at a low price for the whole kit today, we will still get a secondary screen to go with the MacBook. And today we're looking at the 11-inch 2018 iPad Pro. This is my M1 as a stand-in as a prop. This base model version comes with the A12X processor, 64 gigabytes of storage, and even ProMotion Fast Refresh for the screen, and that comes in at $489 on Amazon Renewed. That's the tablet that started it all for me back in the day. And this one, what's so cool about it is it's the first of the new design language options from Apple, and it will still look amazing today. Yes, 64 gigabytes of storage is on the low side, but honestly, I never even use that much of my tablets or my phones because most of my mobile devices use apps and programs that store my spreadsheets and diagrams on the cloud. Not a lot is ever stored directly on my tablet. This will also work with the Apple Pencil Generation 2. It will work with the new style Magic Keyboards. It does essentially everything the latest M1 iPad Pro can do, but for like half the cost. I'm telling you, the best part about having an iPad Pro is how versatile it is to travel with something that can substitute as an analog paper notebook. And being able to combine that with the M1 MacBook means that these two together they're just an utter power couple of tech. I say this all the time and will continue to beat this drum, but a MacBook and an iPad are a way better combination than a MacBook and another MacBook. You get sidecar and dual screens wherever you go. When it's released, you'll get universal control. You can copy from one and paste to the other. Both have USB-C, so both can be charged with the same cables. Might sound like a reasonable request, but you're not gonna get that in Apple too often. And like I said, this is the first Apple product ever with ProMotion. So you'll be able to have up to 120 Hz refresh rate. It will feel very silky. It will feel very seamless to use, yet that technology can also slow the screen rate down to save on battery life. Plus, while the A12X sounds like an ancient processor in the future land of 2022, it's still a very capable chip that's more powerful than some desktop processors released in its same year. You could do some serious content creation from the iPad itself, and I've got a few videos up from back in 2018 where my mind was shattered to see how fast it could be compared to my $4,500 iMac Pro that I was leasing at the time. The MacBook Air and the iPad Pro are like the peanut butter and jelly of any good tech system. And by bread, I guess I mean the cell phone. I don't remember if that made sense when I typed the script, but it didn't make as much sense when I read it back here, so welcome to arguing with your past self as you're making a video. Okay, so the cell phone we're picking up for this list is a refurbished iPhone 11 with 128 gigabytes of storage, and you can get this bad boy from Apple for $469. And no kidding, I think the iPhone 11 might have been one of my favorite phones of all time. I mean, look, here is mine. I know the design was a little contentious at the time, but I think this stands up really well. You get the A13 Bionic processor, 128 gigabytes of storage, a 6.1-inch liquid retina display, and a dual camera array that actually has some really good lenses on it in both a wide and ultra wide angle variety. This is before the advent of 5G for Apple, so you will be missing out there, but I don't think you'll really be missing out on much else. It's basically the current iPhone design language, but more rounded on the edges, making it actually easier to hold and carry around compared to the new sharper edged current iPhones. Because of the processor, you'll get years of updates, and you can even find some very well priced accessories because this thing has been on the market for a minute now. I also think that this is just about the right size for a cell phone. It's not too big, it's not too small, and the battery life is good enough, if not as impressive as some of the options from the 13 lineup. All in all, for roughly $400, I don't know that you'll get a better option out there. Plus, you'll be able to airdrop between the iPhone, the iPad, the MacBook, so all around, this is a very good addition to the refurbished kit. It's crazy, we still have a few other devices to go, and I know it's shocking, but we will stay underneath that price, even with 2 more things to go. Next up, we can add in the Airpods Generation 2. We can get these renewed on Amazon for $109. I think that of all the tech we've talked about today, buying refurbished AirPods, probably the weirdest. I'm not sure how many people want to buy secondhand in-ear headphones. I personally would spend the extra money to just get a new pair of AirPods 3, but that's not the video we're making today. So keeping with the refurbished theme, $100 for a pair of AirPods, that's pretty good. I know that AirPods get a bad rap as disposable and not reliable over the long term, but seriously, how long do you own headphones? This is my pair of Gen 1 AirPods that I've owned for 4 years, and I only recently, like this week, started having connection problems. I can't think of another pair of headphones that I've ever owned in my life that have lasted that long. Maybe I'm a wasteful person, but I don't buy headphones for life. Maybe I should. Maybe I should buy better ones. I don't know, but what I do know is I like AirPods, and here you'll get decent sound quality, okay battery life, and awesome convenience without having to spend all that much. And that's, for me, I'm not an audiophile, so that's about the highest praise that I can give for a set of headphones. Hopefully the Amazon vendor that you buy these from, though, cleans them very well before you get them. Ooh. So we come to the final part of our ecosystem, and again, I don't think we needed to skimp or save too much and miss out on a piece of awesome tech. So today we'll be adding the Apple Watch Series 6 for $299. This might be the best deal of the bunch so far. This will be on Amazon Refurbished, and dang, $299 for a Series 6 is a fantastic deal. That's better than buying an Apple Watch SE brand new. You are essentially getting the same experience as the Series 7, you know, the latest and greatest of the Apple Watches. The only thing that you're going to be lacking here is like a millimeter of screen real estate. Personally, I do think that screen real estate is awesome, but do I think it's $200 awesome? That's probably a tougher conversation to have. This will allow for all notifications between the rest of the ecosystem, has all the cool fitness and health trackers from the newer options. You'll get VO2 max levels, blood oxygen levels, all that cool health stuff. The GPS is pretty good for running or other fitness activities, and you can have it track your heart rate for when you want to know mathematically how much running up that hill actually sucks. You can know subjectively how much it sucks, but if you want to know how much it sucks with math, that's where the Apple Watch comes in. I have no bad things to say about the Apple Watch, except you'll need an iPhone to make it work. And good news, we already have an iPhone in this list, so it all ties together perfectly. That's why you plan out videos ahead of time. I still think the Apple Watch is really the only useful smartwatch option, and I recommend one if you are trying to replace a bunch of different watches into a smaller, easier to use kit. But at the end of the day, so what, right? We are now at the end of our list, so let's do some checking and make sure our math added up. Macbook Air, $849. iPad Pro, $489, iPhone 11, $469, AirPods Generation 2, $109, and an Apple Watch Series 6 for $299 for a grand total of, drumroll please, boom, $22.15. It's almost like I was able to do the math at this part of the script, and then I was able to bring it all the way back to the beginning of the video to make sure it all matched up. The magic of video! Yes, if you were looking to save even more money, you could cut out things like the iPad or the Apple Watch and get that number down even more. But I think it's awesome that we can get a full 5-piece technology ecosystem for this little amount of money. $22.15 isn't cheap. I'm not going to say that's cheap, but I think this is all very well priced for what you get. But what about you? If you were building a refurbished Apple ecosystem, what would you recommend and what would you add to that kit? Let me know in the comments below because I'm very interested to see how somebody else would build the same thing that I would. And if you like this video and you're a little more curious about the most powerful Apple ecosystem, I made a video talking all about that you can find by clicking right here. Click, 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 click. Thanks for watching.